Hey, Stephen Graham Jones here, and I am figuring this out. I am the spokesperson for Summer Scares 2020. I'm about to do three things. I'm going to introduce myself, I'm going to talk about some upcoming books, I'm going to talk about some favorites, and I'm going to do this in 5 minutes. We'll see if that happens. Maybe I can do it in 4 minutes, right? I'm going to do another thing too. I'm going to try to look into the camera. I'm trying to do that right now. This last one I just made of these, I was not looking into the camera at all. The reason for that is I was raised in West Texas, and it's probably like this everywhere. But I was raised where if you stare at someone, then you're just asking to get punched. So I learned by experience to look off into like that J.C. Penney middle distance. But I'm going to try to look into the camera now. That it doesn't mean I want to fight you. I just want to talk to you about some books. So I can't find stuff without looking. Um, you may know me from Mongrels, 2016 werewolf novel. You may know me from Map in the Interior, 2017 novella. You may know me from some of my 20 or 25 other books. You may know me from the bike trail. I'm always bouncing down the bike trail, up or down, faster and faster, often end up in the emergency room. You may know me from the junkyard. I love to hang out at junkyards. The pawn shop. The pawn shop's my favorite place of all. I love bookstores. I love libraries. I love any dollar DVD bin. I love dollar stores, come to mention that. And is that me? Yeah, I think that's me. I live in Colorado now, Boulder, Colorado. I write a lot of horror. I teach a lot of horror. I'm married, got a couple kids. I'm into boots and trucks. Yeah, that's me. So consider myself introduced, right? I'll talk to you now about The Only Good Indians. It's a novel that's coming out. There I was, not looking at the camera, right? It's coming out July 14th, 2020. It's about four guys who are out hunting elk one afternoon up on the Blackfeet Reservation, and they make a mistake. They make a bad decision. And 10 years later, on down the road, they think they're free. They're not. Something's coming for them. As you can tell, this is a slasher. But where this starts for me, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time for this, but is up on the reservation. I'm 12 years old. I'm 13 years old, hunting with my uncle Jerry, Gerald Calf looking. Any of y'all who are up there might remember him. And we're just bouncing around looking for junk, looking for animals. And sure enough, about a quarter mile off, we see something big and brown sleeping on the side of a grassy hill, and it's got that hump on its back, on its shoulders. Doesn't have no horns, so it's a cow moose. We take about 45 minutes. We stalk around to her. We're about 30 yards out. I got my rifle lined up. She's right there in my scope. And she catches a scent of us and she lumbers up. But the trick is she does not lumber up onto 4 feet. She lumbers up onto 2 feet. It's a grizzly bear. Big o girl. And then about 2 or 3 seconds after she pops up, her two little cubs pop their heads up out of the grass like, "What's up, Mom?" And "What's up" was us. And so like she's right in my crosshairs, and I'm probably shaking. I'm terrified. And then everything goes black, and I think, did I just die? Did that bear get here already? You always hear that they're fast, but what had happened was my uncle had reached over and cupped the scope in his hand, and he was guiding the rifle down. And I looked up to him, and he shook his head no. He said, "We're not doing this. We're not shooting a bear." And I was really lucky that day to have him in the field with me to keep me from making a mistake. These guys in The Only Good Indians, they didn't have anybody in the field with them. I wish they would have. So The Only Good Indians is elk hunting. It's bouncing around the Blackfeet Reservation, around Montana. It's a lot of basketball too. I I spent, like, right now my knees and ankles are so trashed because I spent so much of my life playing basketball, and I've had so many surgeries that I can't play ball anymore, but I can still play it on the page. Also coming out in September, Night of the Manikins, another novella from Tor.com. It's a slasher set down in Rockwall, Texas. There may or may not be a kaiju in it. There is definitely a mannequin in it. It's about some high school kids who play a prank, and things go disastrously wrong, you could say. That's the two next things I have coming up that I can talk about. I'm not sure what my time is. I'm afraid to unfocus my eyes to look at the clock. How about I do some favorites? I have them stacked from littlest to biggest. First, my favorite movie ever, Scream. I watch this thing all the time still. I read the screenplay all the time. I read everything I can about Scream. I will always live inside Scream. I was looking for, I was going to have a tie, my two favorite horror novels. One of them was going to be Gemma Files' experimental film, and I can't find it, which means somebody came over and I stuffed it in their hands and I said, "You got to read this." And they left with it and I'll never get it back. I got to buy another one, like my 14th one probably. But this novel right here, Lunar Park, Bret Easton Ellis, this novel shakes me up every time I read it, every single time. It's just, I mean, it's so finely written, for one, and maybe that's what makes it so scary. I'm not sure. It is terrifying to me. Favorite comic book? It's a tie. It's Day Tripper is one of them. I'll never get tired of that novel. Also, I Kill Giants. I love I Kill Giants. But if we're talking series, like a series of comics, I consider Watchmen a series. You know, I guess people consider Watchmen a graphic novel, don't they? How about the Max from the early '90s? I love Sam Keith's The Max. I'll always live inside that book. And I'm about to look at the clock and see how high I went. Nice talking to y'all. Bye.